The villagers encircle the sacred fire. Flames leap toward the darkened sky, their flickering glow illuminating faces tense with desperation. Voices rise in unison, chanting ancient words that tremble with power, pleading for the spirit's intervention. The air feels alive, pulsing with unseen energy, and yet a deep unease settles among them, a shroud of fear they cannot shake. A whisper breaks through the chants, faint but unmistakable. "The Watcher," someone murmurs, voice trembling. Another joins, and soon, murmurs spread like ripples in the crowd. Eyes dart to the edges of the clearing, where the firelight cannot reach. The shadows seem alive, shifting and stretching as if something unseen lurks just beyond their sight. The whispers grow louder, then halt suddenly as a shape moves between the trees. Just for a moment, it is there, dark, silent, watching. A chill ripples through the gathering, and the chanting falters. The elders raise their hands, urging the crowd to focus, but the unease is palpable. One of the elders speaks, his voice low and trembling with age. "The curse grows stronger. The children." He pauses, his eyes scanning the faces of the gathered crowd. "They vanish because we have angered the spirits. They demand respect. They demand repentance." A voice cuts through the elder's solemn speech, firm and clear. "And what have you done about it?" The crowd turns as a figure steps forward, shoulders squared and gaze steady. His presence silences the murmurs. "Spirits may guide us, but action saves lives." The elder frowns, his voice sharp. "Do you challenge the wisdom of our ancestors?" "I challenge your inaction," he replies. "While you chant to the spirits, the forest takes more of us. Another child was lost yesterday. How many more? Will it claim?" The elder falls silent, but another voice rises, soft yet filled with urgency. "And what would you do? Enter the forest alone? Defy the curse?" The man's jaw tightens. He doesn't reply immediately. Instead, his gaze shifts, for just a moment, toward the forest. A memory flashes in his mind, his sister, laughing, as she chased fireflies at the edge of the trees. Then, the laughter turned to silence. The night she vanished, taken by the same curse. His hands clench into fists. A voice pulls him back to the present. "You don't believe in the spirits. You think you can face this alone?" "I don't believe the spirits took her," he replies. His voice wavers only slightly. "But I know the forest holds answers, and I will find them." The elder raises a hand to quiet the crowd. He steps closer to the fire, its light casting deep shadows across his face. "If the spirits did not take her, why have they whispered your name?" "For years?" A murmur spreads through the crowd. The man stiffens but doesn't answer. The elder gestures to the fire, his voice rising with a mix of authority and desperation. "The spirits speak through the flame. Their warnings are clear. If you enter the forest, you may not return." Before the man can reply, the village seer steps forward, her face pale and drawn. She stands at the edge of the flames, her voice soft but carrying over the crowd. "When the spirits whisper your name," she begins, her eyes meeting his. "Run." The fire crackles as if punctuating her words. A hush falls over the gathering. For a moment, no one moves. Then, from deep within the forest, a scream pierces the night. It is sharp, raw, and filled with terror. The villagers freeze. The man's eyes snap toward the trees, and without hesitation, he steps forward. "Another child," he mutters. He doesn't wait for the elder's permission or the seer's warning. He turns toward the darkness, his voice low but filled with resolve. "This ends tonight." As the villagers watch in silence, he walks to the edge of the clearing, his form swallowed by the shadows of the trees. The memory lingers, sharp as a blade. A girl's laughter rings in his ears, then fades, replaced by the stillness of the forest. His fists tighten as he remembers the frantic search, the empty clearing, and the way the villagers murmured about spirits. They had said she was taken, but he had found no trace, no sign. Only silence. In the present, the tension between father and son burns hotter than the midday sun. The old man watches him with disappointment, his voice steady yet edged with frustration. You will never understand the ways of the spirits. You mock what has protected this village for generations. He doesn't flinch, meeting his father's gaze head-on. Protection? Is that what you call this? Children are vanishing, crops are dying. What good are your chants and rituals now? His father steps closer, his voice dropping. You speak out of grief, not wisdom. You blame the spirits, but they see what we cannot. I see enough, he snaps back. I see fear paralyze this village, and I see you doing nothing. The conversation cuts short as a voice calls out. A familiar figure approaches, carrying the scent of herbs and the weight of news. She wastes no time, her words brisk. The shrine, it's connected to the curse. He folds his arms, skeptical. What shrine? The old one? You know the stories? It's been plundered by outsiders, artifacts stolen, offerings destroyed. The spirits are angry. Spirits again, he mutters. Angry or not, what good does this do us? We need answers, not legends, her patience phrase. Legends hold truth if you'd listen. The tracks, the signs, they lead back to the shrine. But you're too stubborn to see it. His skepticism clashes with her conviction, the air between them taut. You're chasing shadows, he counters. And you're ignoring what's right in front of you. She fires back. The tension breaks as they both glance toward the village, its lifeblood draining away under the weight of fear. Families huddle, behind closed doors, whispering about who might be taken next. Neighbors avoid each other's eyes. The sound of traditional songs floats faintly through the air, but they carry none of their usual warmth, only a hollow echo of hope. A woman kneels by her doorstep, humming an old melody as her hands shake. Another elder speaks in hushed tones about the Watcher, the spirit that walks unseen, always watching. It's Ayana who finally breaks the silence between them. I followed the tracks. They're fresh, leading from the forest to the last house. That lost a child. They'll keep coming unless we do something. He exhales slowly, the weight of his decisions growing heavier. And what do you propose? That we wade deeper into this mess together? She doesn't hesitate. You've lost just as much as anyone here. Maybe more. If you want the truth, you'll need me. You can't face this alone. He meets her gaze, and for a moment the tension softens. The edge in her voice gives way to quiet determination. We work together, but don't expect me to believe in spirits. She smirks faintly. I don't need you to believe. Just follow the tracks. The uneasy alliance forms as the villagers' fear festers. A small group gathers near the fire. Pit, their whispers urgent. If nothing changes, the curse will consume us all, one says. Another voice rises, louder, desperate. We've waited too long. Someone has to act before the forest takes more of us. The village elder steps forward, his voice calm but commanding. Patience, he urges. The spirits require balance, trust in their guidance. But patience is a dwindling resource. The crowd stirs with unease, the tension mounting. He watches from a distance, Ayana beside him. She speaks softly. They're on the edge. One more disappearance, and this village will tear itself apart. He nods, his resolve hardening. Then we stop waiting. Tonight we follow the tracks, and we end this. The shrine looms ahead, its structure broken and scarred. The faint glow of mist wraps around shattered offerings and scattered carvings, casting unnatural shadows. The air feels heavy, dense with an ancient anger that seems to cling to every breath. This is it, she whispers, her voice tight. He steps forward cautiously, his eyes scanning the markings on the ground. Symbols carved into the stones pulse, faintly, almost alive. His fingers brush against a shattered offering bowl. They desecrated everything, he mutters. The hunter lingers at the edge of the clearing, his gaze darting around nervously. We shouldn't stay long. This place, it's wrong. It's not the place, she says, kneeling to inspect the carvings. It's what was taken from it. A low hum vibrates through the ground, faint but growing stronger. The mist thickens, curling around their legs like grasping fingers. He tightens his grip on his weapon. "We need to move," she says, rising to her feet. But the hunter doesn't respond. Instead, his eyes lock onto something half buried near a broken statue. He moves quickly, brushing dirt aside to reveal a small, ornate artifact. Gold glints faintly in the mist. "What are you doing?" she asks, alarmed. He grins, holding the artifact up. "This is what they came for. This is why the spirits are angry." "Put it back," she says, her voice sharp. "Why should I?" he snaps. "This could save me. I'm not leaving here with nothing." The hum grows louder. The mist shifts, swirling faster. He hesitates, the artifact still in his hand. "You're going to get us all killed," the other man growls. The hunter steps back, his grip tightening. "I'm leaving. You can face this alone." Before anyone can stop him, the ground beneath him trembles violently. A burst of light erupts from the mist, blinding and cold. When it fades, the air is no longer still. A towering figure materializes, its form both solid and spectral. Its features are indistinct, shifting like smoke, but its eyes burn with sorrow and fury. The guardian's presence fills the clearing, its rage radiating like heat. The artifact drops from the hunter's hands as he stumbles backward. No, this isn't real," he stammers. The guardian's gaze fixes on him, its hand reaching out. The hunter screams as the air around him seems to compress, forcing him to his knees. "Stop!" she shouts, stepping forward. "He doesn't understand what he's done." The guardian's head tilts, its burning eyes shifting to her. She scatters, a handful of powder into the air, chanting softly. The mist hesitates, its movement slowing. "You can't reason with it," the man says, his voice low. "It's too late." "No," she replies, her tone firm. "It's never too late." The guardian releases the hunter, who collapses, gasping for breath. Its focus turns to the carvings on the ground, then to the broken offerings. Suddenly, the man staggers, clutching his head. A vision floods his mind, his sister standing at the edge of the forest, her smile fading as the trees seem to swallow her whole. Her voice echoes in his ears. "You have to end this." He drops to one knee, breathing heavily. "It was the curse," he mutters. "It wasn't the forest, it wasn't the spirits." The guardian turns to him, its gaze unrelenting. "They're waiting," his sister's voice whispers. His hand reaches for the fallen artifact, but not to keep it. Slowly, he rises and places it back among the broken offerings. The glow from the mist brightens, then dims. The guardian tilts its head again, its form flickering. "You have to do more," she says, stepping beside him. "Restore what was taken." He nods, his resolve hardening. Together, they gather the scattered carvings and remnants, piecing them together as best they can. She chants softly, her words blending with the hum that fills the air. The guardian's form grows steadier, its gaze less hostile. "It's working," she says, though her voice shakes. The hum grows louder once more, and the mist swirls violently. The guardian raises its hand, and for a moment the air feels heavy enough to crush them. But then, the light fades. The mist begins to recede. The guardian lowers its hand, its eyes fixed on the two of them. For the first time, its expression softens. Then it turns and vanishes into the air, leaving only silence. They stand in the clearing, battered but alive. The mist is gone, and the carvings glow faintly, their light steady. "It's done," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. He looks around, his gaze lingering on the restored offerings. "No, it's just beginning." The forest is quiet now. The mist has vanished, leaving the air crisp and clear. He stands at the edge, looking back at the trees that once felt suffocating. Now, they seem alive with wisdom and purpose, their shadows less threatening, more protective. For the first time, he feels at peace. The weight of his doubts, his anger, and his grief has lightened. He recalls his journey, the arguments, the fear, the sacrifices, and how each step pushed him closer to understanding. "I thought I had all the answers," he murmurs to himself. I thought logic was enough. He looks toward the village. In the distance, its flickering fires a reminder of the people he once avoided. They had welcomed him back as a hero, but it wasn't their praise that mattered. It was their unity, their trust in one another, that had changed him. They needed more than strength, he reflects. They needed each other. And so did I. His gaze shifts back to the forest, the sacred niyama. He recalls the whispers, the visions, the guardian's rage. It wasn't just a place of fear, it was a place of balance. A reminder that not all things can be seen, but all things must be respected. It was never just about what I believed, he says softly. It was about learning to listen. The wind picks up, gentle and warm, carrying with it a sound so faint it could almost be imagined. A whisper, just like before. This time it doesn't chill him. It feels like an invitation, a reassurance. When the spirits whisper your name, run. The seer's warning echoes in his memory. He smiles faintly, his fear replaced by understanding. I'm not running anymore, he says quietly. The whisper grows softer, then fades. He bows his head, a simple gesture of gratitude. Thank you. The village hums with life when he returns. The people gather near the fire, their voices carrying songs of hope and renewal. The elders share stories of the shrine's restoration and the importance of protecting the forest. Children laugh, their joy untainted by the fear that once gripped their families. She approaches him, her expression soft but knowing. You did what none of us could. We all did it, he replies. I only finished what was started. Her gaze lingers on him, searching for something. Do you still think it was just a curse? He doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he looks toward the horizon, where the forest meets the sky. I think it was a lesson for all of us. The villagers begin to place new offerings near the fire, small tokens of thanks, for the spirits that had once seemed so distant. The songs grow louder, filling the night with warmth and unity. As the celebration continues, he steps away, seeking a quiet moment. He stands at the edge of the forest, the trees swaying gently as if acknowledging his presence. Balance, he murmurs. Respect, that's all it ever asked for. He turns to leave, but something holds him in place. It's not fear or doubt. It's a sense of connection, as though the forest itself watches him, its lessons etched into his soul. When he finally steps away, he carries more than memories. He carries wisdom, redemption, and the knowledge that his journey has only just begun.